How's it going, everybody? In this video, we're going to talk about the dark promotion credit system and who is the most important characters to funnel all your DPCs into. This is a very premium resource. Unless you're buying the passes all the time, you will not keep up with what is needed here. So this is very important. Make sure you stay tuned. If you do like this video, make sure you leave it a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. But without further ado, let's go talk about dark promotion credits. Alright, so here we are in game, and we're actually on my baby account right now because it becomes a much more obvious to me the priority for dark promotion characters when you see them at their base level. That is, what kind of red stars you get them for free when you unlock them. Now, we did have a special character on that thumbnail there. We had Black Knight with a fancy arrow saying, "Do not waste these." The implication wasn't do not waste these on Black Knight. No, the implication was don't waste these on anybody but Black Knight. So there's a really nifty resource that's out there in the community from Updog, a very good content creator. Go check him out on YouTube. Make sure you leave a like on all of his videos and sub to his channel. There's lots of good information coming from him. And he's got this really great infographic for the dark promotion cost guide, where we're seeing the cost for 7 red stars and even the diamond costs for these dark promotion characters. Now, if we were to scroll down all the way to Black Knight, you're going to see that his cost is pretty reasonable. Now, he does start from 0, unlike these legendary characters where you get 4 for free, but it's only 5, 6, 9, then 17. It gets a little bit more expensive, but it actually ends cheaper than some of the others. Now, you will be spending more on Black Knight, but Black Knight has such an insane kit, something that is not common in the game at all. In fact, I think he's the only one that does it. So when he is attacked, he's going to attack for 30% of his max health. And because the red stars are giving him more life, this is going to make him do a lot more damage. He's also tanking, right? So he starts with taunt, he starts that defense up. His red stars will increase resistance, making it harder for these characters that tend to have the even amount of focus that he gets resistance with that defense up. So it comes much more difficult to get past him, which creates a lot of issues for his enemies. And then there's the bleed damage he does on the other end of that retaliation, which is really impactful. All right, so Black Knight, I think, is number 1. And when I say number 1, I mean, like, now that he's farmable in the Crucible store, all your Crucible credits go into farming Black Knight, even above Red Goblin, even above Nightcrawler. Yes, unlock those raid characters first, but then everything else goes into Black Knight. Because of his use in Arena, his use in War, his use in Crucible, he is a one-man wrecking crew in a lot of situations, and he counters who I think a lot of people would consider the second person on this list, and that would be Super Skrull. Now, I don't have Super Skrull unlocked right now, but when I do get him unlocked, he's not going to be number 2 on my list, simply because, well, you're going to get his first 4 for free. That's good. That already makes him instantly usable, an amazing character. But for 5, 6, and 7, you're looking at 21,000 total dark promotion credits used. This is a staggering amount, I think, on my baby account for the 170 days or so that I've been playing it. It's not a baby account anymore. My mid-game account, I had 170 days or so that I've been playing it. I've gathered maybe 17,000, maybe 18,000. If you are a person who buys the passes, and this is a lot more tenable for you, this will only take you probably 3 months, and you'll get that done. And that's great. But the problem right now is that he doesn't have those diamonds available. Now, when he does have those diamonds available, then we have to revisit this conversation. But a character that does have those diamonds available is going to be the Apocalypse. You're also going to get Apocalypse unlocked at 4 red stars. And then his 5th, 6th, and 7th are only going to cost you, this is 8,000, 13,000 total to get all the way up to 7 red stars. And then his dark diamond promotions are available to you. Now, if you've been doing Crucible, you are getting these at the end of every season. And he's the character that's worth the most on these dark promotion credits right now. Now, if we go back into game, I actually don't have this character unlocked, and then I guess we should have a conversation about his unlock method. It's super untenable right now for new players. I am not building up the Horsemen team. I'm building up the Horsemen characters, so they got used for them, but then I'm waiting for them to do a rework on his unlock. And I do think it's coming. I think a lot of people will be mad about it, and I think that they can shove it, because it's a game, and they're in a new expansion, and he shouldn't be as stupid again as he currently is. But why is this character so good? Well, this character does a lot of really cool things. In particular, his empowered punch is going to kind of make him evergreen. Like, he's always going to be usable, right? So his empowered punch is going to attack the primary for 70% damage. Now, there's a lot that goes into this before that. So when he does the ultimate, he does damage. He does flips. So that extra focus, that extra damage turns deflex into bleeds, unblockable, all kinds of stuff. So there's lots of damage benefit in those red stars. He's going to get offense up. And then for this punch, he's going to do 70% damage and then 60% of the target's max health. This is why he's going to always be awesome. So investing in him now is just going to keep him at that awesome level. Killing through death proof and all kinds of amazing, great characteristics for Apocalypse. He also needs to survive to actually reach his turn. He doesn't spawn with defense up. He only spawns with immunity. So he does have some weaknesses, and those red stars are going to greatly kind of shore up those weaknesses. So he is actually my number 2 above Super Skrull because of the diamond possibility for him. The next character that I would think about in my number 4 is going to be Green Goblin. Now, you are going to get Green Goblin at 4 stars just from doing his max out on his event, so I wouldn't waste any dark promos on him now. In fact, if we go in-game right now, you can see for yourself, I haven't, right? He's still at 2 red stars. I would love to put them on him. They're kind of cheap for the initial ones, but it's just not worth wasting your dark promotion credits because they are so scarce. Now, his 5, 6, and 7 are 1,200, 3,500, 4,500. That's not a big deal. And he also has those diamonds available. In fact, if I had unlimited dark promos, my list would go Black Knight, Apocalypse, Super Skrull, Green Goblin Classic. I don't have unlimited dark promos. My list might go Black Knight, Apocalypse, Green Goblin Classic, and then Super Skrull, because I will eventually be able to put those dark diamonds on Green Goblin. And honestly, the rate at which we get these dark promo credits, I do think I'd be able to get enough Crucible seasons under my belt to upgrade Apocalypse all the way, upgrade Green Goblin all the way, and then start working on Skrull. So there's an interesting dynamic at play there. But guys, those are kind of the 4 characters that I put the most emphasis in. When I think about my baby count, I'm not even thinking past those. There are some great characters also on this list, and on my main account I have them built up. It's fantastic. I have the extra red stars on them. I love it. I get so much use out of them. But looking back at it now, I'm just not interested in it. Ultimus, I was never interested in Ultimus. It is what it is. Ultron, when you unlock Ultron, you actually only get him at 2 red stars, and so to bring him all the way up to where he would need to be otherwise is kind of too much, right? So like 1,500, 1,800, 2,400, 3,500, 4,000. It's way too much. I don't care that his diamonds are cheaper. I sub him out quite a bit in Crucible. Now, he has got a little bit more use this season, but I think that's going to fall off in a big way. So Ultron, I'm leaving him where he is. If you don't have him built up, just don't build him up. Then there's Doctor Doom. Now, you're going to get Doctor Doom to 4 red stars just from doing Dark Dimension 4, and then he's going to cost 3,000, 3,500, 4,500. So same as like Green Goblin. Now, there's definitely not the value there, but he is cheaper on the diamond section, so there's a little bit of an interesting conversation to have there. And I think for veteran players, it would make sense because you probably already brought your Doom up. If you haven't already put the DPCs in Doom and you still need to work on a character like Goblin, you still need to work on a character like Skrull, Doom just isn't it, right? And we also should talk about his passive. Now, his passive, it's a double-edged sword. Because he only ults on his second turn, unless he gets pushed to 50%, you kind of want him to get pushed to 50%. But in the face of a lot of these new characters, he can get one shot if he's only at 4 red stars. So there's an interesting balancing mechanic that you can lead into there. But there's also just another character that kind of rights that ship, and that's going to be Dormammu. Dormammu Doom, I kind of look at them in the same sort of lens, where we get them at 4 red stars from their unlock. They're going to cost a little bit too many DPCs for my liking. And the diamonds, I'm just not seeing the value there. That's why they don't make the top 10 list, let alone like the top 5 kind of list. So they just don't do it for me. Morgan Le Fay, Rogue, and Archangel for me. The cost is not bad for that 5th, right? The 1,200. So if I had the other 4 characters done, I'm probably going to start looking at these 1,200 for some of these guys, not these 3 right away. But after that, 3,500, 4,500, and then the diamonds. And unless you're swimming in this stuff because you're buying the passes every single 2 weeks and you're Grandmasters, it's just a little bit too much, especially like Archangel, Morgan Le Fay. Morgan Le Fay less so than Archangel, but Archangel's time has currently passed. Unless he gets put on another team, it's ain't happening. Rogue definitely got revitalized with the Extreme team for something like Crucible and War, but it's mostly defense, so it's kind of boring. I just don't put much value into there. So for these characters, they're kind of like at the very end, I would start working on them. But that's not true for Red Hulk. Red Hulk use in War is still going to be for a very long time. The Gamma team is amazing. And he is the character that has the most synergy with Apocalypse. So Red Hulk he's just very, very interesting, right? Let's go in game for a second and let's look at his special. I get so much use out of his special, especially this empowered version. So if Apocalypse is an ally or with 3 other Horsemen, clear revive 1s on adjacent targets. Filling the speed bar of 1 random Horseman ally by 10% and filling speed bar of Apocalypse by 15%. So he is like, we talked about Apocalypse not having defense up, kind of needing to survive to reach his ultimate. Well, Red Hulk comes in with a very, very fast speed stat at 133, giving the speed bar, removing revive once. He is a phenomenal character, and he's kind of in that power couple high rankings now. As far as bringing him to 7 red stars, I do think that's probably the move for me after doing the initial 4. And then looking at his diamonds, I don't think I would do his diamonds. I think I would hold out for Super Skrull diamonds, hold out for other characters at that time. But bringing him to 7 red stars would be on my list. Zombie Iron Man. Zombie Iron Man is a phenomenal character. If you got the 4 red stars from the past, that happened, I think, like 6 months ago, great. Does he scale really well with red stars? Yeah, he can do a shit ton of damage. But he doesn't need to do a shit ton of damage. His passive will do enough. So I'm not going to be putting anything into Zombie Iron Man. I think I might have done one as a troll. No, I didn't. I didn't do any. That must have been on a different account. I did put nothing into Zombie Iron Man. I haven't even built him up yet because it's the baby account. It's not a high priority. But I will not be putting dark promotion credits into him. Then we got Quicksilver. Quicksilver. Love this character. Phenomenal character. The problem with Quicksilver is that he scales almost entirely off damage. So things like his ultimate that are putting out debuffs, things like his special that are doing turn meter rewind, defense down, his basic hitting a bunch, and then he's taking 2 turns. It's great. It's really powerful. He scales up damage. So you would think like, hey, this is the prime candidate for dark promotion credits. The problem is Scopely has jumped off the power cliff. Like we are doing power bungee jump. No, we're doing power skydiving at this point, okay? It's just, he's falling off so hard. He's still a phenomenal character right now. 2 months from now, I'm not sure that's going to be the case. He does have those diamonds available. They're kind of on the cheaper side, but still not worth it for me, unless you're like right there at the end. If you have him at 7 red stars already, putting 1 dark diamond on him, I kind of like it. 2, okay. 3, definitely not. For me, if you missed the boat on Quicksilver now, you probably shouldn't get on it. Then we got Nova. So Nova, we're going to start him at the 4 red stars from his event, which is great. After that, it's just way too expensive for me. He's kind of a war-only character or a tertiary character in Crucible, so it's just not, it's not the move. Big Time Spider-Man. Big Time Spider-Man, he started 0. That's the biggest problem with him right at the gate. Does he need the red stars? Big Time Spider-Man does a whoop load of damage, a whoop-ass load of damage when he's built up. He also is very, very reliant on focus for his ultimate. Now, that might sound funny to you because he is getting 1,000% extra focus. It's unavoidable. It cannot be blocked, and it also cannot be assisted. And it's going to be flipping all the buffs on the enemy, which is great. The problem with Big Time Spider's ultimate is the primary target that you're going to use this on is going to be the Black Knight. And the Black Knight is also getting 1,000% extra resistance. He's much higher on the build priority list. You got to kind of match your Spider-Man big time to be able to take out those Black Knights. And so it's just not really possible, right? As on a free-to-play, even on the pass buyer budget, it's a little bit too much. Now, his diamonds are a little bit cheaper, at least for the first 2, which is nice. People who haven't built him up yet, I think the time for that has passed. People who did build him up, I think it's still good because he's still really good in Dark Dimension. I see the value there in Crucible. You know, we're always hungry for another way to take out Black Knight team, especially like a budget Black Knight team where maybe you can bring in Big Time Spider-Man and Red Hulk Apocalypse and you could down the team like that. Like that's a really, really good value. But I think it's such a niche audience that I don't put him in well, he's probably top 10, but I don't put him low on that list for sure. All right, then we got Black Cat. Now, we're going to get the first 4 for Black Cat for free. And after that, she does have the same sort of cost as Green Goblin and Nova. I really, really like Black Cat. Mostly because we're getting to use her on offense now in Crucible. And her damage is absolutely insane. Now, her diamonds are not available yet, which does hurt her in my books quite a bit. I would suspect that she is going to cost the exact same as Nova and Green Goblin Classic do. Where she falls on this list, she's definitely... We know our top 4. We know Black Knight, Apocalypse, Super Skrull, Green Goblin Classic. Those are our top 4. We talked about Red Hulk. He's definitely high on that list. So the question would be, do you want to do Red Hulk or Black Cat first? Because Red Hulk is sort of acting as a catalyst for Apocalypse, I think probably the move is Black Cat. I think Black Cat would be number 5 on this list, and I would bring her all the way up to 7 red stars and kind of chill and wait on those diamonds and see what's going to happen. And the last person on this list is going to be Zombie Juggernaut. Zombie Juggernaut, unlike Zombie Iron Man, is a phenomenal character when it comes to those red stars. Now, he does start at 0, which hurts him quite a bit, but it only costs 5, 6, 9, 1500, and then it's kind of the usual cost for 5, 6, and 7. No diamonds available on this character yet, and that's for good reason. When you have this character built up, he can kind of become like the strongest character in the game. So he's gaining 30% damage per charge on this character. I've had a 5 red star zombie juggernaut take the ride from Doom over a 3 diamond apocalypse just because of the amount of charges that he had. And that apocalypse had offense up, mind you. Which I thought was kind of crazy. I thought that was kind of crazy. But that's going to be it for this list, guys. Now, I just want to talk about a little bit of the theory behind like tunneling or spreading out your DPCs. And I feel very strongly that the move is to tunnel, especially in the beginning, especially for the Black Knight. Tunnel all your DPCs into Black Knight, get him to that 7 red stars, get him to the 7 yellow stars, of course. And then Apocalypse, tunnel into Apocalypse, get those diamonds on him. Figure out, you want to go Goblin first, you want to go Super Skrull first. I think there's an argument for both of those, to be honest with you. I lean more towards Super Skrull, but like, man, if you're buying the passes, that feels a lot better. But then tunnel, tunnel, tunnel. Tunnel into Green Goblin Classic, tunnel into Black Cat. And from there, ooh, I might be more inclined to spread it out from there. I might want to do Red Hulk 5. I might want to do Red Hulk 6, and maybe kind of wait. Maybe by then I've been able to build up my Undying. Maybe I want to put, 4 or 5 on Zombie Juggernaut, leave him there. And from there, because Dark Diamonds are also going to be limiting, we can kind of chill a little bit. But there's one character not on this list that we should really, really talk about, because as soon as he gets put out here, everything changes. Everything changes when the Fire Nation attacked, right? Or when the goddamn boomers attacked. We're talking about Old Man Logan, of course. Currently not available for Dark Promotion credits. You can do that just by hitting find. You see nothing's available for him. You can't get his shards anywhere. You can't get his red stars anywhere. I don't know what's going to go on with this character. Is it arguable? Is he the best character in the game over Super Skrull, over Apocalypse? Maybe not over Mephisto. In some situations, people are beating Mephisto with Old Man Logan. It's a very, very interesting conversation. But he would take the priority over everybody once he gets done. Which is why what I think is going to happen is if you farm Black Knight now, and you get him to 7 yellows, you get him to 7 red, and then you Apocalypse, I think by that time, Old Man Logan red stars are going to be available. If not a little bit before that. I think it's going to be probably around his second run, because they do have the red stars in there as kind of a little carrot to help people do that chase. So I can kind of see them holding on to his red stars for a bit, especially because he's ruining the game for a lot of different demographics. Like for new players, this arena event is an absolute joke, because Old Man Logan locks up the arena if you don't have Apocalypse. And with Apocalypse's unlock method being trash, ooh, kind of tough, right? And the character I didn't talk about Mephisto. I'm not sure when his red stars will be available. He does start at 5 red stars, which is nice. I suspect he's going to be on the same kind of pay scale as Super Skrull, if not higher. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Mephisto costs like 10,000 for the 6 and 20,000 for the 7. And his red stars are going to take quite a while. But anyway, guys, let me know how you guys are feeling about your Dark Promotion income, your Dark Promotion characters. Have you done any particular character that's really elevated your game that really surprised you? Let me know in the comment section below. But for now, stay happy, healthy, have fun. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now. That's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Stay happy, healthy, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.